another live stream. I'm Bill Anderson, and we're not doing the Around Mijas tonight. Tonight we have Lisa Burgess. Welcome back, Lisa.
Hello, thank you for having me back.
Well, listen, this is kind of your live stream now, you know. So, and we're going to be going through some things that are happening round and about on the Costa del Sol with the Costa del Sol Chatter. Just in case anyone doesn't know what it is you're developing here, Lisa, can you just sort of briefly tell us again?
Yeah, well, Costa del Sol Chatter will be a variety of video casts and podcasts about all things Costa del Sol. It'll also bring a community of trusted people together who provide services here, because I have found, having lived here 6 years, that I found some great people that are really good at what they do, and I've found some not so good people who can't be so trusted. So it will be a community sort of effort, and I'll be interviewing people from all walks of life on Costa del Sol. I'll be giving you snippets of news and breaking news on the Costa del Sol. It's very focused to this area,
Yeah.
but mainly it'll be sort of a hub for people to find trusted plumbers, maintenance people, lawyers.
You don't know any good lawyers, do you?
Oh no, nobody. But this is what I'm talking about. I mean, you just, yeah. Actually, this happened to me this week. My partner was renting out his apartment, and a very lovely lady, no names mentioned here, had got a possible client, some Scandinavian clients, to come and see it. And cut a long story short, they wanted to rent the property, but it was actually rented. But in their message to me, they said, "Well, can't we just go directly?" Having gotten my business card, can't we just go directly with you and let's cut her out of the commission? I said, well, the property's gone, and I wouldn't do that in the first place, because the poor girl that had put in all this effort to set up this meeting and gone back and forth, with us, a really lovely real estate agent who was fairly new at her job, was going to be cut out of being paid what she should have been paid for her hard work.
Mm.
So this is my point about people trying to cut corners.
Yeah.
And not reward people for their work, or not do a job properly.
Yeah, and I've heard of similar things happening, where people have been, I don't know, into selling properties, and the person that's interested in buying has tried to do things or has done things to cut out the person who's been promoting the property and setting up the meetings, and this kind of thing does happen, Lisa.
Yeah, unfortunately it doesn't, and so want to make as much as I can, and also I will allow the members of my forum to actually vote as well on how they think the job has been done.
Right.
So it won't be just favoritism on my part. It will be quite equal in that sense. So it's still very much a work in progress, because, as you know, I've been also offered a radio show on top of that, and many other things to do.
Yeah, yeah.
And of course, let's not forget tomorrow night, Bill.
What's happening tomorrow night, Lisa? Tell us.
God, I tend to get myself roped into these things, but I do know what a tremendous job the firefighters and police and emergency services have done with the fires that we've had all over Spain, and specifically recently in July in Mijas. So very kindly, Mark and Penny Quinlan, who are owners of the Harbour Club and Restaurant, are holding dinner and entertainment for 105 fire and police personnel in Estepona, Mijas, Malaga as a province, Benalmádena, Marbella, most of the municipalities, all the police and fire chiefs are coming, and all the regular personnel as well.
Right.
But I've been handed the great job, and I have done this before, but this time it's been enormous. The great job of being the organizer.
I know it's one of these jobs that it's like I'm sure once you get into it, you think, why did I ever agree to this?
I know it'll be all right on the night, and I think, yes, Lucy, you know what? You'll be rewarded somewhere for this. But honestly, my phone has never stopped with. I've got all the fire and police chiefs on speed dial at the moment on my phone. The
Right.
only thing that makes me laugh is I'm quietly sure that a fire won't break. A fire won't break out on tomorrow night, and I know you're coming with your lovely wife, and many people who've done a lot for this province, and really
Yeah,
helped so many people here. So there will be awards handed out. Arturo, my partner, is making a speech, and he'll be handing out awards to police chiefs and to fire chiefs, with some, I hope, nicely written and very humble and thankful words for what they've achieved.
sure.
But yeah, don't ask me tomorrow to ever do another one again. But I'm joking because I'm asked sort of every year, and I always go, oh, and then I think, you know what, they do such a great job. Like, you know, I
Yeah,
can't.
and listen, Lisa, whether it's been people who've been here on holiday or people who live here, I
Mm,
don't think anybody doubts the incredible work and courage of these emergency services, because we've had a lot of problems this year,
yeah,
and it seems like every year it's getting just that little bit worse.
yeah,
Um, maybe the very dry conditions are the major factor, or maybe there's a lot of mischief makers out there. I'm not sure, but I
yeah,
mean, regardless, these men and women have done a magnificent work, and
really, yeah,
I think organising this for them at the Harbour Restaurant, and thanks to the Harbour Restaurant
yeah,
for hosting this.
yeah.
I think it is a very nice way to say thank you to them.
Yeah, I mean, what's incredible about this, and people actually don't believe it, is that Mark and Penny, and Mark's Irish and Penny's English, they're laying all of this on drinks, dinner, entertainment for free,
I know. Yeah,
which is incredibly generous. But I think, you know, and people are actually astounded because they actually think there's a catch, you know, that you have to pay for. It's one of these kind of tribute nights that you've got to pay for. And when you say, no, 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 they're actually doing it.
yeah.
Thank you. They can't believe it. So
It's incredibly
that's been,
generous of them to do
yeah,
that. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Anyway, you were gonna talk about water.
Well, yeah, this is just a story that I picked up on one of the online papers that I write for,
Mm,
and we don't have a lot of information about it yet, but it's an interesting thing because oops, right,
yeah,
this is not wanting
technical
to
issues.
share. Okay, let me just try it once more, but it's flickering. Ah, that's better.
Oh yeah.
Okay, the Junta de Andalucía have announced a 4 billion euro drought action plan for Andalucía. Now,
Mm,
we don't really have much in the way of information about what exactly they're going to do, but people may not be aware of it. But
mm,
every year, we get just to the cusp of announcing a state of drought.
mm,
And we've been seeing that the number of tourists coming to Andalucía and to the Costa
mm,
del Sol has been going up and up and up. A place like Mijas, which has a registered population of about 90,000, that number can triple during the summer. So we can have a
yeah.
250,000 people just in Mijas.
Incredible.
And really, since the days of Franco, there's been very little done to extend the water collection and distribution network, or to improve what we actually have at the moment. So
Mm,
I think, I get snippets of news from people that work with Ecosol and whatever,
mm.
and I get this little message sometimes saying, if we don't have rain within, then we're going to announce a state of drought, and that probably means cuts and then lowering of pressure, and that causes other problems for things, and whatever. So I think I'm going to be interested to see exactly what they're proposing. But
Yeah,
I think it's good that this sum of money has been earmarked for improving for creating this drought action plan, and maybe they'll stop some of the leaky pipes as well.
yeah. Well, they're losing a lot of water. I had read that they're losing a lot of water because the system is so ancient. But in a larger picture, I would say that water is going to be worldwide an incredible commodity. Um,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, I think that's been addressed in several films and several summits. Yeah, and
yeah.
distribution of water is, I mean, I don't know what you think about, for instance, golf courses need a lot of water. Yeah.
Yeah, but my understanding though is that golf courses use recycled water,
Right. Okay.
like
Hmm.
the kind of car washes and things. This is not water that's suitable for drinking.
Right. I
So
wasn't aware of that.
that is my understanding, that the golf courses, yeah, how much recycled water do we have? I have no idea. But golf courses and
Use
like the
their
car
own.
washes um, do use they have a source of recycled water,
Oh, well,
which
that's good to know. I wasn't aware of that. I mean, I think that's very good. Next time I bump into one of the golf course people I know, I'm going to check on that.
yeah, well,
I'll
yeah,
hold you to that.
please do, because that's what I was told. Maybe it was because I'm not a golfer, so I don't really have contact with golfers, Um, but yeah, that's certainly one thing. I think it's good news
Yeah,
that we're going to look into this, and see what can be done.
I've got a good friend who's a great golfer here. I'm going to ask her and find out what the story is because I want to know, are all of them, I mean, only because we're all suffering from the loss of it. I mean,
Yeah,
it's a big, big political issue that's got, you know, it's a huge political issue. So, and
yeah.
that's a huge amount of money you're talking about.
Yeah, it's a massive amount of money, and what we also need to consider, that Lisa, in the years that I've been in Mijas, I've been here 20 years. The population has gone from under 80,000 to first of all over 80,000, which makes it a municipality, a big population municipality. But now the latest figures are, it's around 90,000, and the
Mm.
building is going on and on and on. And all of these houses are going to need water.
So I suppose what you're saying is that there was actually a bonus to Brexit then, and the fact that everybody registered on the Padron did this, and now Mijas can benefit. Is that?
Well,
Would you say that?
no, I'm not very sure. I believe that there was an increase in Brit registration on the Padron,
Mm.
but there have also been a lot of Brits who have headed back to the
Yeah,
UK.
yeah,
But when I say lots, I have no idea what the number is, but a lot of people that I know have moved back to the UK. So I'm not sure what the balance was between, those who registered because of their residency and those who have gone back to the UK.
yeah. It would be interesting to know that. And
Yeah.
I'm always trying to search for a bonus for Brexit. Me and Anne Hernandez.
I'm still looking for it. I
Yeah.
actually have, I actually have Anne on my radio show tomorrow.
Oh,
Um,
gee.
and I was very cheeky, and said that the theme was going to be, what benefits has Brexit brought to expats?
You
I
know
think
what?
I think we agreed that it's probably going to be the shortest radio show in the history of radio.
Well, you can tell how I mentioned the padrons being filled up, yeah, as
Yeah,
people. people who did stay here, like myself.
Indeed. So,
Just to be
what else have you got for us,
well, in
Lisa?
good news, a few little tidbits I've got. We've had, and I live in Fuengirola, we've had an archaeological discovery here by the castle, which is very exciting. We almost feel like we're in Egypt here. They found what they believe is the remains of between the first and the third century of a main Roman commercial center, which
Yeah,
I find completely fascinating. And I'm going to take a walk down there this weekend because they're going to glean incredible information about this. I mean,
absolutely.
yeah, it's really exciting for, you know, this town, even though it's not a tiny town, but for where I live, and you know, we love the castle. And but I mean, they've been able even to establish that it was a busy, you know, a commercial Roman port. So
Sure.
I mean, they didn't obviously know that before. So this is quite an exciting local discovery, I think,
It is,
for us.
isn't it? And my son, who actually now lives in Japan, is well, he was by training an archaeologist,
All right.
and he would be salivating, I think, to see what's
Oh yeah.
around here.
I love that. And in other very happy news for Fuengirola, they have approved, which is always lovely, starting from November 25th to December 18th, they're going to have the Fuengirola, dare I say the word, Christmas market
All
with,
right.
with 17 market stalls. And I have to say, it's really, I don't know if you know Fuengirola very well, but
Yes,
outside the
reasonably
church,
well.
they have the market stalls, and it's very, very Christmassy. So I'm looking forward to that.
So
That's
that's it. That's in the main square. I think
yeah,
it's Plaza de la Constitución, isn't it, where the church
it,
is? And
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, it starts on November 25th and runs till December 18th.
okay.
Um, some other news that I thought was quite funny actually was there's a new sparkling wine coming to Spain. It's a new
Right.
label, yeah, and the labels on the sparkling wine are all singular in the sense that you can buy a bottle with the name single, or a bottle with the name married, or a bottle with the name divorce. So
Right.
it's quite.
Is this a new dating system or something that you sit on the
Well,
table
I
with
don't
your
know.
bottle of single on the table?
The reason I thought it was quite funny because it was kind of putting people in a box in the sense of you're either single, married, or divorced, but you can be in so many other different boxes, you know, than that. But the
Yeah,
one I
sure.
was laughing about was thinking, well, why don't they have a bottle that says single and having no luck on Tinder? Yeah, that might not be something to celebrate.
So, but my question here would be though, Lisa, if you get the married one, does that mean you have to share it with your partner?
I think what you should do is get the married one and share it with the person who buys a single bottle. Yeah, I'm only having a laugh. People of Costa
That's
del
getting a
Sol,
bit
don't be
dodgy now.
offended.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's see that's being introduced in the new year, and I think it's kind of an unusual product that's coming.
Do we know where it's going to be sold?
Yeah, we do actually. I'll update you on that. It's coming from France,
Right.
so
Okay, that makes sense.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's coming. I think it's coming to. I cannot remember the name of the winery, but I will update you on that when we speak again because it's not actually coming to. Won't arrive till. It won't arrive till the new year, but actually, it's somebody I think who'd be quite interesting to speak to because it's kind of an unusual little product.
Yeah,
Just,
we'll have to try some sort of live on one of the streams, and
yes, I'm gonna contact the person who's promoting it, and maybe towards maybe in the new year. Well, I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't fall under any of those categories. And I think that's why I couldn't decide which bottle I'd go for.
Well, you know, what I always say is when you can't make a decision about something important like that, you just buy one of each.
Yes, I was thinking try all three. That's it. That's a good thing. And then onto a more unusual thing that happened to me. I was sending a letter, and this is really more warning specifically elderly or naive people, because I was very nearly scammed this week. I was sending a letter, registered post, to a country outside of Spain in Europe. And I went down to Correas and paid the £6.95 to have it registered. And then that was last week. And then about 2 days later, I got a text message saying, we've tried to deliver your package, but we haven't had any success. So you're going to have to pay another €3.
Ah,
2.94. Yeah.
right.
I looked on this website and it genuinely looked like Correas, but I thought, you know what, this sounds kind of weird. So
Ah, right.
I went down to Correas and asked the lady, and she said, "Oh, it's a scam. They do it all the time." I said, "What?" I said, "But I didn't even provide my telephone number, so how do they know that I
Yeah,
sent?"
but
So
I
what's the
think
story with that?
the thing is I've seen this, and I think the thing is that they just send it out to tens of thousands of people, and there's going to be some people who are expecting something or have just done something with Correos, and they obviously think that it's for them. But the scam basically is say we'll deliver it if you pay the €3, for example. Just give us your card details, and we'll make sure it gets delivered. Of course, once they've got your card details, then
Yeah,
that's
they've got you.
complicated.
Yeah, but yeah, maybe that's a coincidence, but I don't believe in coincidences. And for it to happen just 2 days after, so I complained vociferously as much
Yeah.
as I could in Spanish. And I said, "Well, do you not think I should take all of this down to the police and tell them?" Well, I've got a
Mm,
few mates in the police now.
right. I can imagine. Yes.
um, and she said, "No, because it happens to them too, all the
Yeah.
time." So to me, that sort of, and I don't know if you've read about this, to me, that seems that online fraud is just gathering pace
Yeah,
so much.
listen, Lisa, I get several of these a week, and you know, I got one maybe 2 3 weeks ago from DHL,
Oh,
same kind
really?
of thing. Well, not from DHL, but it said it was DHL. But when you look more closely into the actual email of the sender, it's clearly not DHL. Now,
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting anything from DHL, so I just got, "Ah, it's a scam, delete it or
Mm,
report it." But
mm.
if I'd been waiting on a delivery as I was maybe the following week,
Yeah.
I would have thought, "Oh, DHL have contacted me," and that's what they count on. That you know, that there are people who they just hit the button from time to time. A lot of people just go, I haven't ordered anything; it's a scam." But if you are expecting something by courier, then you know you think, "Oh, they've contacted me. You know, I need to sort this out."
Well, somebody's getting it in the neck tomorrow night out of the 50, out of the 100, uh, um, 50 police out of the 100 that are coming tomorrow night, because I'm amazed that they didn't want me to report it, I suppose, is that they just think it's so little. But I was thinking about people who, elderly people who, or,
Yeah,
naive people. And actually, it wasn't me that I thought, oh, Christ, it's definitely to do with my letter. And
yeah.
Arturo, my partner, turned around and said, "That's a scam." I said,
Listen,
"Really? It looks so
listen.
real."
A few weeks back, I got an email from Interpol.
No.
Yeah, saying that an international arrest warrant had been issued for me, and you know I needed
Um,
to open this document to see what the charges were. And I thought, right, and then when I looked at the actual email address, it was something like Interpol something at gmail.com. And I'm thinking, I don't think Interpol use Gmail. I think they might
Yeah.
just have their own,
Yeah,
their
but
own email
well,
address, you know?
in a thread on that, Google have decided to open a major office in Malaga for
Right,
cybersecurity. I just read about that. That's good news for Malaga. Not such good news, by the way, for airlines or people who are traveling. Some good news in the sense, unfortunately, Vueling cabin crew, they
right,
are striking every Friday, Sunday, Monday, and public holidays up until the beginning of February, which,
right,
if you've
okay.
booked on Vueling, is heartbreaking. Ryanair ground crew are also going to be striking. But happily, we're going to get more Norwegians here on the Costa del Sol because Norwegian Airlines has expanded with 100 flights a week between Malaga
Wow.
and Scandinavia. So, and I always have lovely Norwegian friends, so that's a bit of good news. But very sad for people
Yeah.
who've made plans to travel, particularly around Christmas as well, and they have to,
Yeah.
it's it's a tough one. Yeah, it's a,
Yeah, and what can I say? You understand why they do it because they want to apply the maximum pressure possible to
mm,
whoever they're negotiating with, their
mm,
employers or whatever, and they do that by creating the maximum chaos possible. And yeah, the
it
people that
really
lose out.
affects people so badly. It's just so sad. I mean, I just feel really sorry. And I always get really quite excited when I find out that countries are expanding flights rather
Right.
than, yeah. But and, I'm not singling out Ryanair or Vueling. I'm hoping that they'll resolve their problems. But it must be worrying if you have got travel plans at Christmas. But
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure you've got other stories to tell. I've got a few left. You go ahead.
Oh no, I don't really have. I mean, my week this week has been taken up largely with trying to sort out people's building licenses.
Oh,
Uh,
really?
yeah, well, actually, it's interesting. You're talking about archaeology, and the house that is based actually has the El Faro Tower in its garden,
Wow.
which is
Okay.
actually being renovated at the moment. Uh,
Right.
they're having lots of problems with the building license, partly because it's classed as an archaeological site,
Okay.
and
That's
then everything
interesting.
they do has to be in keeping with the tower. So I suppose they can't paint the walls Salvador Dali and things.
Mhm.
And we've been trying to help them get some stuff sorted out there, and the archaeology is part of the problem in that site.
Yeah. Well, it's quite a prominent part of the Costa del Sol, so they're going to
Yeah.
be forensically examined with their license over that anyway. I mean,
Yeah,
are they very near to getting it or?
well, yeah, there's still things to do, but we had a very good meeting this week, and I think
Mm.
I'm hopeful that the process will start ticking over again.
Yeah. What else have you been up to?
Well, writing. I've been doing articles for a number of places.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm not going to talk about it today, but next week in the Euro Weekly, I'll be explaining what's happening with voting
Oh,
for
right.
well, for European citizens and for Brits. The Brits is the more complicated one still at the moment, so
Mm-hmm.
hopefully that's going to be sorted.
Mm-hmm.
Um, been preparing to make some videos in various languages explaining how to register to vote. So we've got that happening this weekend. People
Well,
are
that's
coming over to the
exciting.
house, and
I've got, I assume I'm allowed to, but I have an Irish and an English British passport.
yeah.
Now,
So
how long do you, I'm just curious, how long do you have to have lived here to vote?
if you are, well, British citizen, we're still waiting for the final agreement on it, but
Mm,
it will likely be you will have to be resident here for 3 years. If you
right.
are an EU citizen, they don't make that demand on you that you have to have 3 years residency.
Oh, right. Okay. So I will be
Um,
allowed to vote then.
so EU citizens, it's really a fairly simple process, but we're going to be doing it in French and German, Italian,
Oh, great.
uh, let's say German, Norwegian, just to get the message out in people's own languages.
That's fantastic. And I thought that, there are a lot of foreigners in the house, well, all over Costa del Sol. So
Yeah.
it'll be a very good endeavor um, to make people, because there's no point moaning about the system and things you want to do or things you want to change unless you actually vote.
Yeah, and the thing is, we're doing these from the around Mijas label, if you like, but
Mm.
these will apply to councils anywhere in Spain.
Oh,
So,
really
if
fabulous.
someone in Alicante has a lot of Norwegian residents, they can use these same videos over there, because ultimately the rules for registering to vote apply to the whole of Spain and not to just one municipality. So they will be able to spread around in the different communities, the different national communities, which I hope we'll be able to do.
Well, you've just reminded me of my mother. We had my dear departed mother who said, one day you're going to be so grateful that you're able to get an Irish passport.
Yes.
As mothers are, she was so bloody right.
Yeah, yeah. I think many a true word spoken in jest, even, isn't it?
Yeah, I
But
know. Yeah, I know a lot of friends of mine here have been very lucky in the sense that they have Irish ancestry, or
yeah,
and they have been able to get dual citizenship. And then I've been constantly amazed by, and here I sound like Anne now again. I'm constantly amazed by people who have homes here and who voted for Brexit, and I suddenly can't believe that they can't stay here for as long as they want. It's just unbelievable to
I know,
me.
I know.
I,
Yeah, well, that these are the kind of things that I think we're going to be talking with Anne about tomorrow on the
yeah.
radio show on Expat Radio. Because we have a lot of listeners in Spain, a lot of listeners in United States and other parts of
Mm,
Europe. So
mm.
it might be interesting for them to hear, what the challenges of Brexit have been from the point of view of Brits living in Europe.
Okay, well, I'll get off the subject. I've had too many arguments about Brexit, and I think it's time I try to leave it behind. Talking about which, what is your view? And this is getting away a little bit from Costa del Sol. I have got a few more interesting things to talk about in Costa del Sol, but yeah, it just occurred to me, we've had in the UK 5 prime ministers in the past 6 years.
All right.
I mean, hello, do we look like idiots? Does Spain think? I mean, I know from my partner's point of view, we look like our country is going down the tubes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't really follow British politics anymore,
You
because
know,
I can't vote in UK elections, and I don't have any interest in the UK.
mm, mm.
And I think at the end of the day, the people get what they deserve.
Yeah, well, I'm just talking from the Spanish point of view. It
Oh,
seems to me, they think that we're just completely nuts. I mean, they can't. I was trying to explain to a few Spanish people why Liz Truss was only prime minister for 44 days. Then they just don't understand our system at all, and they thought our system was fairly democratic. But well, then when I
uh,
realised we'd had 5 prime ministers in the
but
past 6.
Lisa, without getting into sort of debates about it, democracy can be a bit of a misnomer sometimes.
Yes, it can. Yeah,
Because
yeah,
in any country, I think what's been happening in the UK is particularly chaotic. But in
yeah.
any country, yeah, you get to vote for who you want. No, but you don't, because you get to vote for who the parties decide you can vote for. you don't get to choose who goes on the list or who heads the list. You only get to choose what someone else has decided. Well, we're having Sanchez, or we're having Feijo, or we're having Iglesias, or whoever. They're topping our lists. So you can either choose to vote for them or not to vote. But we don't really get to choose who our leaders are.
Yeah, I mean, the world seems to be ever changing. Brazil is going more to the left.
I've seen
Israel's
that.
going
Yeah,
more to the right. I mean, I have a fascination with politics, and I'm always curious to see. I always read the Spanish point of view on well, and it's always different to other countries' point of view. Do you know what I
sure,
mean?
sure.
I always get a completely different, because I have a Spanish partner. I always get a completely different view from him because he's Spanish than I do. So
Yeah,
that's my particular interest. Anyway, back to the Costa del Sol. Electricity. I know I keep banging on about this, but my electricity bill doubled, and I'm not happy about it.
all right.
So I just wanted to let all the viewers out there know that I have looked into this, and you're going to laugh. The cheapest time to use electricity, coming in at 0.13, is between 4 and 5 in the morning.
Right.
So
Okay.
anybody who fancies doing their laundry at that time and wants to get a bargain, that's the time to do it, apparently, according to Sir in
But
English.
the warning on this, if you live in an apartment and you've got neighbors upstairs and downstairs, they might not be happy about your washing machine going on at 4 in the morning.
Now, and I was quite surprised about this, the most expensive time is between 6 and 7 p.m.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, so interesting. Don't know what time you even put on your do you even do the laundry in your household?
Um, Not usually.
No.
No.
Yeah, we can elaborate on why women are always stuck with the laundry. Can you
Well,
answer that for me, Bill?
uh, in fairness, that I have done the laundry. When I wasn't
When
working,
was
Vicky
that?
was. I did the laundry, and
When you what?
when I wasn't working and Vicky was working, I did the shopping and the cooking and the laundry and whatever.
Okay.
So, but I tend not. Vicky's very organized, and I
Hmm.
tend not to try and interfere with her organization. It's not
Oh,
good.
I tell you what, that's a politician's answer if there ever was one. I mean, hello. Wow. I like that. And when was it the last time you did the laundry?
Oh, I put the laundry in sometimes, and I sometimes hang it out on the line.
Oh, you know what I don't know if all other uh, our Costa del Sol viewers feel about this, but that's the only thing I don't like about November and December is it's quite hard to hang out your laundry and for it to dry.
Right, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's the downside. But the
Yeah,
upside is I was reading that uh, Malaga Airport throughout the month of October registered an average temperature of 21.3. So I think we're very lucky to live here,
yeah.
really.
Well, but when Vicky and I first got together, she insisted that we buy a tumble dryer.
Ah, well, how
Um,
about a dishwasher?
yeah.
Ah,
Uh,
I caught you. You don't have a dishwasher.
we don't, but we've got a I wouldn't say huge house, but a reasonably big house, but a very small kitchen.
Right. Yeah,
And
your house is not that small.
no, but the kitchen's very small, and
Right.
to get it into the plumbing and things, we need to lose one of the few cupboards that we've got.
Yeah. Well, it's not a very sexy gift to be given a dishwasher, but a question was posed in an article recently that said, what would be your top luxury thing that you would like in your life at the moment? And
Right,
the only thing I could think of was a
a
dishwasher.
dishwasher. Right,
How sad
okay.
is that? I
I
must be getting old now.
I think Vicky would probably agree with you, and we have talked
Really?
about it, but we just don't know where we would put it. That's our problem, really.
Yeah, well, yeah, because it really that sort of appliance needs to be in the kitchen right
Yeah,
next to
because
the.
we have a laundry room where the washing machines and extra fridge and freezer and things are, but it's on the outside of the house, so you could hardly carry all the dishes through there to put
I
them.
know that would just no, yeah, forget about that. So, but going back to the problem of so many people are moaning to me about their electricity bills. That's what that as Vicky, a dishwasher is sexy. Well, I think I know what you're going to get for Christmas, darling. I was recently given an appliance for as a present. Hello, Peter, and
Hi, Peter.
it was an electric toothbrush.
I listen. I love my electric toothbrush.
I didn't know whether to laugh or cry because I was
I
like,
I love my electric toothbrush.
I've actually grown to love it. But I was kind of thinking Marjorie would be better than an electric chair. But
So, Lisa,
yeah,
what else have you got for us?
yeah. So this is a really lovely story that has come out and really shows that somebody has a very good heart. This gorgeous little boy, Oliver, who was born in Malaga um, in 2020. He has been living in Mexico, but an extremely kind Mexican businessman has poor Oliver has a brain tumor, and this Mexican businessman has donated anonymously. Apparently, he got a receipt. 196,400 euros for Oliver to have his
Wow,
treatment.
it's
And I
incredible.
recently just got an update there to say that surgeons, and even though he's from Malaga, surgeons have removed more than 90% of Oliver's brain tumor in a 10-hour operation,
Yeah,
which I think
I've just read
is
that.
incredible. He's actually in hospital in Barcelona. Um,
I
but
was going to show a photograph, but
I think for privacy issues,
they're from newspapers, and newspapers might get upset if we use their material on.
yes, of course. And then also it's a little boy as well. They might,
Yeah,
I know,
but
I know
it
the
has been in
news
the
everywhere.
news. It's heartwarming.
Yeah, and it's nice, and what a great guy that donated that, and and obviously he was born here because I was thinking because when I was first reading it online, I thought to myself, people's point of view, not mine, because for any child I would want them to have help anywhere in the world. But I think if he hadn't been born in Malaga,
Hmm.
um, and he was flown in from Mexico, some people would grumble about that. I wouldn't, but people are quite, what's the word?
Protective
Um,
or
well, they don't like other people from other countries, which I find a little bit racist, to be honest, using their services,
right?
the Spanish health services, much like the NHS in the UK. But I mean,
Sure.
this is, yeah, I mean, I don't personally know people like that, but I know that people think like that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know what your view is on that.
I think a lot depends on whether people are trying to access the public system or
Mm,
whether they're going private in these
mm,
countries, whether it be in Spain or in the UK.
mm-hmm.
And getting into the public healthcare system here, you've got to tick a lot of boxes to be able to get into it, either because you're working
Oh,
or
don't I know it?
yeah.
Oh, wow.
So, getting into the public system, but honestly, I don't have a problem if
No, well, it's
people are paying for the treatment, which obviously was the case here. So that they're not just sort of jumping in and kicking someone else off the waiting list to get their treatment. They're obviously paying for it and probably being done privately.
Yeah, it is. It's been done privately, but I mean, I
Yeah.
just think it's a lovely story and one that I like. But I did come across a funny little story, and it didn't actually happen in Costa del Sol. It happened in the Costa Blanca, because I've been dealing with the fire and police people's tribute tomorrow night. I've been reading about all things to do with fires. I thought this was a very sweet little story about a parrot that was found in a shop and suffering from smoke inhalation where a small fire had broken out. Because I love animals, yeah. He was revived and given oxygen by 2 firefighters, and
Oh,
he's alive and doing well.
so they didn't give it mouth to mouth then?
I didn't actually think about that, Bill, to be honest. I just thought that was a kind of a sweet little story from Spain. But I mean, obviously, you probably got some larger stories to talk about. So come on, I don't want to take over.
No,
You go ahead.
well, I'm kind of out of stories at the moment because I haven't been following the news very much recently, Lisa, because I don't know, it's been really busy. But anyway, I think we should be sort of saying good night to people.
Okay. Yeah. Oh God. Yes. I didn't even know how long are we supposed to
Yeah,
be going on.
and thanks to everyone who's joined us this evening,
Yeah.
and to Vicky and Peter. Uh, Lisa, thank you so much. You'll be back in about 4 weeks
I
or thereabouts.
will.
We'll fix the dates.
I will.
I'll see you
Thank you,
tomorrow
Bill.
evening at
I'll see
the.
you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Have
Just to
fun.
finish off, why do firemen have bigger balls than policemen?
I have no idea.
They sell more tickets.
Sorry,
They sell more tickets.
I don't get that.
Fireman's ball.
Oh,
Why? What were you thinking?
I've obviously got a one-track mind, so I'm going to leave you on that note, and wish everybody a happy weekend on the Costa del Sol, and I'll
Okay,
see you
take
all
care,
soon.
everyone. Thanks for
Take
joining us,
care.
and we'll be back next week, 7 o'clock. Take care, everyone.